Hi, welcome back to the Edge of Conception. My name is Liz, and I am a certified nurse midwife. And on this channel, I love talking to you all about all things conception and the conception, preconception things. I feel like that's stuff that I miss talking to patients about clinically. So why not talk about it here online when we have endless time and so much like beautiful information at our fingertips? But in addition to that, because I hate a long lecture too. I also love talking to you all about the mental, spiritual, and emotional taxing load of all these things and how it can go from heavy and unsaid to uplifting and known, because these parts of yourself, your emotions, your mental plane, your spiritual access, all play a direct foundational toll to things occurring in the preconception time. And why not create a foundational tool and a foundational protocol that supports you through all of it? Okay. So today we are talking about egg quality and ovarian reserve. Okay. What have you been deferring while waiting for the right time? So, in general, two numbers get thrown at women when it comes to fertility conversations more than almost any other, and this is AMH and ovarian reserve. AMH and ovarian reserve. Ovarian reserve, AMH. Like that is like turnkey. You have very well entered fertility combos, okay? AMH, ovarian reserve. And most women leave these appointments and these conversations knowing their numbers, but not knowing what it actually means. And today we will discuss the what quality of eggs mean and ovarian reserve actually are. What is fixed and what is not. And then the question underneath, as always, of all of it. So let us start with the clinical foundation, the evidence based information, before we go up into the mental, emotional, and spiritual world. Two things that I want us to like really get down packed in this protocol that we're creating for ourselves. Um Ovarian reserve versus egg quality. And I feel like once we are able to separate it out, we can hear the separation, but sometimes it all gets muddled up into one. So let's get super clear here. Two separate things. Ovarian reserve is the quantity of eggs remaining. How many eggs you got left? The reserve. Like a reserve at your bank. How much money you got left in there? Ovarian reserve. How many eggs you got left in there? Egg quality. The chromosomal integrity of those eggs. Okay? What is the actual quality of those eggs? The essence of those eggs. And not even essence in like a spiritual way. I mean, truly, what's the essence of them? Like, do they all got the same chromosomes? Do they all match? Does everything look good? Right. These are not the same measurements, and they do not move together. Okay? What ovarian reserve tells us, right? How many eggs I got left. This is the AMH, the antimural hormone. It is a blood marker produced by the ovaries reflecting how many eggs remain. You can get this done at your fertility clinic, at your OBGYN's office. So you can even probably ask your primary doctor to do it for you. Okay? Low AMH, if the number is low, if it's below the target range that the lab uses, right, means fewer eggs available. Low AMH means fewer eggs available. That is real. That does not change. What AMH does not tell you is whether those eggs are chromosomally normal, right? It doesn't tell us the egg qualities of those eggs. It just tells us we got a lot or we don't got a lot. Think of your AMH as you're just taking a snapshot of your bank account. You log in, draw the blood, and you see the number low AMH, low money, low eggs. Low eggs. That's all it says right there. It doesn't tell you the ins and outs of those eggs. It doesn't tell you the specifics of those eggs. No, no, no. It just tells us low AMH, low eggs. That's it. Those eggs could be pristine gold. You don't know. We don't know. AMH just tells us high or low. That's it. A 2023 study published in Fertility and Sterility found that women with diminished ovarian reserve, right, low AMH, fewer eggs, do not have a lower chance of a live birth compared to women with normal reserve when trying to conceive naturally. Quantity is not a destiny. What egg quality actually is? Quality. It is actually chromosomal integrity. Whether the eggs can divide properly when fertilized. That's it. Egg quality is primarily influenced by age. This is the part that is fixed. Okay? That's why you can find people, and you've probably seen the stories of women who are young in the sense of they're in their their late 20s or early 30s. They're in the middle of their fertility lifespan, and their AMH is very low, super low, very, very, very low. That does not equate to their eggs having low quality. What is the one big influencer to egg quality is age. There are women in their late 30s, some of them early 40s, who have, a lower-ish AMH, but it's not as low as someone who would be categorized as infertile, right? It's not like run to IVF doctors low. They conceive naturally, yet they are at a higher risk of what? Chromosomal abnormalities in their pregnancy because of the decreased quality of the eggs due to chromosomal lack of integrity. You can't stop aging. That is fixed. But let's zoom out again. Eggs spend 90 days maturing before ovulation. And that 90 days, that maturation window is where you have influence, okay? That's where you got some movement. You can shimmy a little bit, okay? Oxidative stress, which is the imbalance between egg damage molecules and the body's defenses, directly impairs egg maturation and quality. Egg cells contain 10 times more mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, than any other cell in the body. Eggs are literally powerhouses of all the powerhouses of the cell. Eggs are the biggest powerhouses of all the cells. All the cells, eggs. Mitochondrial health is central to egg quality. Central. What disrupts mitochondrial function is chronic stress. I know we hate talking about it. Chronic stress. And most people are chronically stressed, especially us as women, especially high achieving women. Chronically stressed. Poor nutrition. I know it. It always comes back time and time again. Environmental toxins, especially for all my fellow big city girls. environmental toxins. Might have to, okay? Country air a little bit. Inflammation. Inflammation. And sleep deprivation. Whew. It's always those same five. It's always those same five. The biggest life hack ever, ever will forever be the same life hack 400, 5,000 years from now is the person who's able to acutely and chronically self improve, correct, and further optimize these 5 areas of their life: stress, nutrition, toxins and exposure to environmental toxins and harmful toxins, inflammation, and sleep. What disrupts the function, the mitochondrial function in general? And remember, eggs have way more mitochondrial function, are these 5 areas. All these 5 areas are very much in all of our control. That is actually what's influenceable. That is what is actually can be changed. That is epigenetics right there. This is real epigenetics. You can influence the environment that these eggs are maturing in those 90 days before ovulation by focusing on decreasing these negative mitochondrial functions, or really decreasing the disruptors to these mitochondrial functions. Nutrition and antioxidant intake, stress load, sleep, inflammation. These are all within your control. A 2024 peer-reviewed narrative review in PMC confirmed that dietary and lifestyle interventions directly reduce oxidative stress and support egg maturation. You cannot increase your egg count. You cannot improve your chromosomal integrity because of your age. You can improve the conditions your eggs are developing in right now. Science gives us all these numbers. Beautiful. We got the labs. We can do all this stuff. What it didn't ask is what you have been doing to the body those eggs are maturing inside, and what you have been putting off tending to while you're waiting for the right time. So let's start with our mental breakdown. High achieving women have a relationship with deferral. Twins. Deferral is what I like to call delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. High achieving women, we are professionals, okay? Dare I say we have an associate level degree in delayed gratification. My goodness, I love that stuff. I love delayed gratification. I've trained myself to love delayed gratification. Let's just call it what it is. A very sinking relationship with deferral. You will handle yourself when the big thing is done. The promotion, the move, the relationship, the deadline. When the big things are done, then I will think about myself. You have been promising yourself you will slow down, you'll sleep more, you reduce the load after. This is how our minds have been wired. Delayed gratification, aka a sinking relationship with deferral. Why do I use the word sinking? because it's not working. It's not meant to be sustainable. It is meant to be sinking, pulling you down, drowning you. A sinking relationship with deferral of self. Oh, but I'm journaling, I'm doing my spiritual practices, I'm praying, I'm doing my meditations, I'm going on a quick walk. Are you eating better? Are you really taking your sleep hygiene to the next level, maxing out? Are you purposefully slowing down and really being able to ask yourself, what are my chronic stressors and how can I take them out of my life? Or are we waiting for afterwards? Well, this is just a season of my life I'm in. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I know. I know you gotta do it because I have real life patients and clients, patients who come to me while pregnant, very much still living this life. I have to do this, I have to do this class, I need it. You have yet to focus in on how to reduce your load. The after, the after you're waiting for, the afterwards, when everything calms down, when the goal has been met and reached, you know as much as I know, listening to this and hearing it and experiencing it and thinking of all these memories that you tell yourself of delayed gratification, aka a sinking relationship with deferral, just dragging you down, a sinking one is a lie. It's a myth. Dare I say folklore that we have been living inside of and created this mental warping reality for that is simply not even real. After, afterwards, completion, that's not when all this is going to get better. You know that, I know that, we've been told that many of times, yet we still have this growing love and fondness for delayed gratification. The eggs maturing right now in your body do not know about after. And I want us to just let this hit us where it needs to hit us. The eggs in your body right now, maturing, do not know about after. And what is the emotional aspect of this? The grief of maybe finding out that you have a low ovarian reserve number, right? A low AMH. Not just because of what it means for your fertility, but it is a sharp wake up call, a sharp, nasty, nasty wake up call for some women. And if you've experienced this before, think back to how you felt getting that low number. Even if you ended up having a great pregnancy, got pregnant on your own, everything's great, you have a great, beautiful baby, blah, 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 blah. Just think back briefly to that point when you saw that lab. And immediately, your mind starts trying to make it make sense, right? It starts asking, we got this number. This is evidence for us waiting too long, us not prioritizing well, our bodies literally forcing us into menopause, and we don't want, like, we haven't completed the things we need to complete. The number actually is not even saying any of that, right? The number simply says how many eggs you got left. And I want you to treat it as that. A very objective, this is how many eggs you got left. The sound of alarm, the sound of alarm that comes after you say that blaring sound pressing into your mind is the sound of you starting to cycle through your entire life and become very triggered, very upset, very profoundly hurt and disoriented about what you did wrong. Where did you go wrong? That's what that number pulls out of you immediately. It's a very objective number. That's how many eggs you got left. The meaning behind that, the depth behind that, how many eggs I got left? Excuse me? AKA, where did I go wrong? What exit I didn't get off of? Do I got any exits left? This is the depth of what happens when you receive an objective lab like your AMH. Though, and that's why we start with the research. The research does not change the fact that just because you have a low AMH does not change your inability to conceive as compared to someone with a normal AMH and have a great pregnancy and a great baby. The number says how many eggs you have left. That is all. That is it. Cleaving the what did I do wrong, comma, that you put after how many eggs you got left, comma, what did I do wrong? Cleaving that commentary, cleaving that sentence in two, and making one stand out objectively on its own, and allowing yourself to debrief and come to a truer statement than what did I do wrong. You know as much as I know you didn't do anything wrong. You know as much as I know that there's certain things, certain behaviors, certain patterns, certain delays, certain deferrals, certain gratifications that when in review, right? When given the chance to review them, they don't feel good anymore. Let the number remain the number. It's not saying who you are and what's possible. It's just a number. But being allowed the space to answer what did I do wrong, and actually gently shifting that to where did I lose my inner focus? What have I been trying to chase down outside of myself that I know historically may not really give me the gratification that I want? Where has my high achieving label and behavior patterns redirected my focus to things that really don't matter to me? That's an opportunity. Please take it. And we end off with the spiritual aspects of this. The body you're living in right now is the only one doing this work. not the future version of yourself who has more time, less stress, a cleaner life. To become her, to live her life, to be in congruency with her, you have to be in congruency with now and with you. This is the you. The one who's watching this, the one who's carrying what she's carrying, this is a you that you have to work with. And what you do for the next 90 days matters. Not because perfection is the goal, but because tending to yourself. This is a reckoning for many women. And I want you to allow it to be a reckoning for your sinking relationship with deferral. Your goal is not perfection, but your goal should be tending to yourself. You are not worthy of continuously deferring yourself until conditions are ideal, conditions are right, when things are accomplished, when things are met, when this and done. Conditions will never be ideal. So instead of chasing that 100%, see and ask and truly feel into, if conditions are never going to be ideal, what is ideal to me? What is ideal for me? So I can recalibrate my focus, if you want children or not, right? Recalibrate my focus so that this doesn't get connected to what did I do wrong. This is a number. This is a lab result. This is blood work. It ain't gonna go up. It's not gonna dramatically fall in 2 days, right? But it's a number. What is ideal to me? So that this number doesn't have power over me. This number doesn't have regret and build disdain and distrust within me. That I don't have to redesign my whole life and move in such deep desperation for the next 2 years because of this number here. What are my ideal conditions? Let this be a reckoning, not a reckoning to desperation, but a reckoning to self importance again, to tending to oneself, because conditions will never be ideal. You have to tend now. So here are some reflection questions. What have I been telling myself I will do for my body once things settle? What would it mean to treat myself as worth tending to right now, not as preparation for conception, but as a new baseline? Where did I learn that my needs come after everything else? The pattern of deferring yourself, the pattern of delayed gratification, putting your tending last, is an identity pattern. And that's exactly what we do in Edge, and what Edge is built for: to identify, deconstruct, and tear down that pattern, to instill a new pattern of selfishness, self assuredness, self trust, self faith, belief, whatever it is you want, but to decimate, tear down the tower, to reconstruct and come back as the moon and the stars. That is what Edge is built for. You can find the link down below. So in closing, the number is information, not a verdict. What is fixed is fixed. What is influenceable is available to you now. The next 90 days are already in motion. You are always the next frontier. I hope you enjoy this, and I can't wait to see you next week where we're going to be talking about something else about infertility. Right now on the docket is endometriosis and fertility. And I would love to hear your comments and conversations and share with other fellow women. And if you're interested in working with me, you can find the link down below. Bye.